My name is Christine. I am in Texas. 35-year-old. Actually, currently married. Have 2 kids, but my marriage is kind of going downhill. Yeah, we are like 5 minutes before to be divorced.
Married woman says she's 5 minutes away from getting divorced. Welcome to Management Highlights Daily. Yesterday we talked about the OnlyFans model not being able to get with the man that she wants. And now we're going to talk about the married woman that feels single in her marriage.
Now it's time for us to dive into this and do what we have to do. Because we men and we. We men and we.
It's complicated, but I'm very open to talk about it. It's all good. He works overseas all the time. I don't really actually see him a whole lot. I do my thing. He does his own thing. Obviously, we're having relationship problems, sex problems also.
Well, Christine, thank you for being open to talk about your situation, because now we can learn from it and use it for educational purposes. So go ahead.
And last but not least, Christine, go ahead.
Oh, well, it's obviously not really by choice at this moment, but it is what it is. It's just getting bad. It's been bad actually from almost from the beginning, to be honest with you. It's never great. It was just okay, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And now I kind of consider myself single. Like, he's openly like telling me, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I am single, but I don't know even how to call it. Is it by choice? Definitely not by choice. No.
Relationships have a foundation. You know, like she mentioned, the relationship was already bad from the beginning, right? Their foundation was already not good, and that's something that you need to know about marriage. Getting married doesn't mean your relationship is going to be good now. Just because you have children doesn't mean that your relationship is going to be stronger. So why did you get together in the first place? You don't just get to a point where your husband says you can do whatever you want. There's more to the story. She talks about this later in the interview. So we're going to skip to that part where she basically explains how she got in this situation.
This is it. I originally actually went for this marriage. My biological clocks were tick-tacking, so I was like getting close to 30. I was like, okay, I need to get kids done. It's like a check mark. And then he was around, and then just, things were just...
Okay.
He just was a right person, I guess, at that moment. So, we never actually married for love. Not him, not me. Conveniency more than anything. So now we're in this shithole we are in, and
there it is. There is your foundation. Your biological clock was ticking, right? You wanted to have babies, so you were looking for the guy, and in your own words, he was the right guy at the moment to have children with. Moment, not lifetime. Moment. Now, when you listen to her speak in this interview, she will tell you that this guy makes good money. He basically checked all of the boxes on the safe and security checklist. Good guy to have a kid with, and I will be good and set for life. You can hear that she speaks with an accent, right? So maybe there were more things that were beneficial to her when it came to marriage and having his children. She also speaks about being conservative in this interview. So I think marriage was definitely her idea. She probably got pregnant first. She let him raw, and it was all fun and games till she was pregnant. So this was like a shotgun marriage. They didn't marry for love. So now you are in a shithole, but what did you expect what was going to happen? This next question is interesting.
I'm just curious. Why have you guys lasted 7 years? How long?
Because of kids.
Oh, kids. Got you. Okay. Kids came in along the way.
For as much as we don't like each other, we are very... I think we both are very good parents, and this is what holds us down. And then my son is actually the older son, who is 6 to be soon. He is against me divorcing, because I did have an open conversation with him. What do you think if we go separate ways? He kind of cried, so I was like, okay, because I was about to file myself. And because it's just a matter of time, okay, it's gonna happen regardless. So I was gonna just do it myself, and then, but before I did it, I had an open conversation with my toddler, and then I'm in kindergartner, and then he said no. So he cried, and I was like, okay, maybe I just hold on. So I don't know what to do.
To be honest, I don't believe what she says. You know, when she says that she's staying together for the children, I don't believe it. The reason why she's not divorcing is because this guy is not there. The guy is working all the time, so she basically sees him 1 month of the year. You see what happens with these NBA players, right? They're working, and then when it's time for them to come home, that's when their wives divorce them. Because when they're working, they don't have to spend time with them. They don't have to argue with them all the time. They don't have to cooperate with them. And now, when they come home, now they have all of these things. They are forced to work out together and get reminded of the shit hole that they're in. And now, like she says, she already feels like she's single. So what's the use of getting a divorce, right? But that's another point. And she's going to highlight this.
Myself, from the beginning, when I got married, I was very, I am conservative, okay? And I have this conservative mindset. I had a vision of a family structure in my head, and it's very traditional. I was like 100% mom. I was, 100% all the time at home, doing chores, doing all this type of like paying bills, even cutting the grass on myself. I never even paid to nobody because I would be just saving like even $30. And then gradually it just got like I lost my identity in a way. So I guess I became a little bit boring for my husband or whatnot. I don't know what was the deal.
She's a housewife. Her husband takes care of everything. And that's the thing. Even though they have problems, right? They're not having sex and stuff like that. He's never home, but he's still out there paying the bills. He's still taking care of everything else, right? This is still our responsibility. You still have to go out there and work and pay the bills and stuff like that. This is something that women don't take into account. Men always went out there to work. When there was a divorce, he still had to pay for his wife and children. But when a woman feels that she doesn't want to have sex, when she's always in a bad mood, and she just told you that she never loved you and just married you because she wanted a green card or because she wanted to have children because her biological clock was ticking, he still has to go to work. And he's probably thinking to himself, "F this woman. I'm just going to make sure that everything is taken care of, but I'm not going to be at home with this woman that doesn't even want to be with me anyways," right? What's the use of getting a divorce? I mean, it's a lose-lose situation.
Well, my husband makes good money. It's okay money. I'm not complaining, but communication is zero. So
okay. Well, you have a unique situation. You barely see him, so you don't. That's tough. Yeah.
That is tough, but still, I mean, if he was a better communicator, it probably wouldn't be so difficult.
Why should he be a better communicator? He already told you that you can do whatever you want, and his actions are showing you that he doesn't want to be there with you. What could be better to communicate? OnlyFans model is not listening. There is no communication because everything that needs to be said is already said. I know you wanted to get married, you wanted to have kids, you had this idea of how a relationship was supposed to be like, but you had it wrong. I mean, you weren't even with this guy for a year before you got pregnant. So when it comes to communication, I think it's on your end. I think you had an idea and you expected him to figure it out and become the man that you wanted him to be after you married him and had his children. He took responsibility, he pays the bills, you don't have to work, but he doesn't want to be your husband. Don't act like you didn't know that. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.